Two stories have turned up about Russia today, one in the Daily Telegraph, one on the BBC. The Daily Telegraph one, or the Sunday Telegraph one, is all about Mr. Putin's health, about his leg shaking, about him gripping the chair during the President of China's visit, about him limping. Yes, he was caught on camera limping when he visited Ukraine. I have no idea whether the proximity of the President of China would make somebody grip their chair. Power does very strange things, and the fact that you're in the presence of serious power does very strange things. Certainly, Mr. Putin seems to be losing that power in some way, but there is no immediate evidence that he is seriously ill. If he were seriously ill, and if he feared that he was going to be replaced, then he might also fear that he would then be handed over to the ICC by his successor, if that successor was not in his own camp. I think should Putin die or be incapacitated, his successor probably will be more hard-line even than President Putin. That is what we should fear, not the possibility that Mr. Putin may be ill. It's about what comes afterwards. And while we are making no effort at all to counter the extraordinary propaganda which is being farmed out to the Russian television media on a daily, hourly basis, I think we should be particularly worried, because we are not in control of this narrative, and the people standing around Mr. Putin are people like Mr. Medvedev, who are determined to sound as hawkish as they possibly can. I think it's a very worrying time. The other story is on the BBC, suggesting that people in Russia are extremely demoralized and miserable. That certainly is not the impression I've received. The impression that I've got, particularly from Moscow, is that people are extraordinarily distracted by a building spree and by celebrations, and the sense that actually everything is pretty well as normal. Indeed, quite a lot of people who fled Russia during the last call-up attempt went back and spent nearly a month in Russia over Christmas and the New Year. That is not a sign of panic or a demoralized nation. And that nation is buoyed up by the rampant propaganda which is deployed across the television stations day and night. Now, maybe that requires all the money put aside for propaganda. Maybe the rest is put into building and construction works. I don't know. I can't see into the mind of the Kremlin. But I think the reports which are coming out in the British press are wishful thinking rather than fact.